Hello everyone, good morning. We'll give one more minute and then we'll get started. Everyone, we'll get started. A very warm welcome to everyone for this OCI training by UnoGeeks. And as you know, this is the first session for your batch. So we'll quickly start with a quick round of introduction. So I'll start with my introduction. So this is Hemant, and I'm an OCI architect with 15 plus years of experience in top US based consulting and product based companies. So I've mostly specialized in Oracle Apps DBA for most of my career. And from past 6 plus years, I've been working with as an OCI infrastructure implementer specialist, where I'm doing the foundation services, provisioning the resources, and I'm doing the migration activities from on-premises to OCI. That is where mostly I'm working the last 6 plus years. So that's about myself, and let's have a quick round of intro. Like you can just mute yourself and let me know what's your background. And if you have any experience in OCI, what exactly you are looking in with this course. These two things.
Hey man, good morning. Gangadhar here.
Yeah, hi. Gangadhar.
I have around 12 years of AppsDB experience.
Okay,
So I just wanted to learn this OCI to enhance my knowledge better and move into OCI field.
okay, good. So you have any prior experience in OCI? I've worked in
No,
OCI.
no, 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 no.
Fine, thank you, Gangadhar.
Yeah, hi. Good morning,
Good morning.
Shravani. I have 7 plus years of experience as an Oracle DBA,
Mhm.
and I'm pure Oracle DBA, working in rank as well. So I'm studying. I have to learn this OCI.
Okay, good. That's,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Hemant. Hi, all. Good morning. Myself, Ganesh Kumar. I'm from Oracle DBA background. I'm having around 5 years of experience. Uh, for the first few months, I have been working with OCA database services like Oracle base database service and XSCC.
Mhm.
I have some practical exposure, but I would like to learn more in-depth concepts. So I'm mainly looking for in-depth knowledge on database services. Also looking for some main concepts like database migrations from on-premise to OCA.
Okay.
These things, and I'm looking forward to learn all these concepts from this training. Thank you.
Thank you. So anyone else wants to go next, or
Hi, Hemant, here with this.
yeah, I Venkat.
I have total 98 plus of experience as a Oracle DBA.
Okay.
I want to learn the OCI. Completed the new one, but I don't have any knowledge of the OCI. Complete, I need to know this.
And so
Yeah.
we have more Oracle DBS in this session somehow. Yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
Yeah.
And we have one apps DBA also. It's good to know that. Okay, anyone next wants to? Fine. On. Okay. So we'll start with the introduction to cloud computing and OCI in this session today. That will be the first session. And in the next session, we will understand what will be the course content, overall course, what will be the duration of this course, and what all topics we are going to cover as part of this course. This is what we'll do in the next session tomorrow. So before that, we just want to have a quick round of introduction on OCI. So how it is being built and what is OCI is all about and what is cloud computing in first place. So the agenda for today's session will be. So hope you are seeing my screen in presentation mode, right? It's in full screen.
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay. So we'll understand what is cloud computing is all about in simple layman terms and see what are the key advantages in cloud computing if the customer is trying to migrate, advantages he's getting. And then we'll discuss about the OCI, the cloud infrastructure, the global footprint of OCI, how the architecture in OCI is being done, what terms we have in OCI, and what all services OCI is offering to the customers. And finally, we'll talk about the distributed cloud services. To start with, what is cloud computing? In a very simple layman terms, cloud computing is nothing but it is allowing you to rent your IT infrastructure instead of buying it. So all these years on premises, you are buying the infrastructure. Maybe it's the Excel servers, or maybe it's the Sun Solaris boxes. You are having them on your data center. So physical devices are being procured and you are using them, connecting them, maintaining them in your own data centers, providing the air conditioner to those servers, providing the network resources, and you have investing a lot of amount in that infrastructure. So customers are investing heavily on these softwares and hardwares, databases, which they can opt to access compute power via internet. So instead of doing all these investments, can simply opt to connect to these resources through internet. So that's your cloud. So cloud is the provider is providing you all these resources over internet, and we simply can connect to these resources, and we just have to pay for the resources what we use. So here, pay for it as they use it. Now, if I'm using the DB servers for next 1 month, I will be paying for next 1 month only. After that, if I don't want to use it, I can terminate these resources in cloud. Earlier, if you have purchased that hardware, it's with you. Whether you will use it, whether you will you don't need that for any of your projects, you still have to have it in your data center. Computing gives you that additional edge, so you can just pay for it for what you use it. These services, they are what we are talking about, the services like the servers, the physical servers, the virtual machines, the storage devices, the database services, the networking resources. All these services you have available in cloud, what you have in on your on-premises. Whatever the services you usually set up in your data centers. So they have ensured that all these services are available in your cloud computing. And cloud computing provides you the speed, scalability, and flexibility. So you can instantly provision the instances, and the flexibility is there. You can scale up, scale down the resources anytime you want. And you can access these services also from internet. Nowadays, you have fast connects, you have high bandwidth network cables, which will help you to easily connect to them. And speed is like along with the connectivity, you can also provision the resources in a very short time. So earlier, if you think of your on-premises scenario, like say if you have to add a 1 terabyte of storage to your DB node, so there used to be a long process. So additional resource, additional hard disk has to be procured. You have to uh, raise some request to your vendor who will be shipping that device to your on-premises data center, whatever it is. And then you have to plug in that hardware, format it, and make it available as a mount point on your DB node. So there's a long process. It used to be a big supply chain process used to happen if you don't have that device at all, and you have to add additional storage. And now in the cloud computing, if you want to add a 1 TB or 10 TB storage, it's matter of some seconds. Within minutes, 1 or 2 minutes, you'll be able to provision new storage and mount it to your DB node or your compute application. So that's how fast it is in cloud computing. So some of the key cloud computing service providers. So these are the service providers which are mostly ruling the market, like Amazon, AWS, and we have Oracle OCI. Oracle is a bit behind in the race, so they came. Like they have taken some time to understand that cloud computing is the new norm going forward. So they have done some delay there. So they are doing the catch-up activity now, and they are also doing very good in the cloud computing part. Along with Amazon OCI, you have Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud Provider, which is GCP. So these are some of the major key uh, cloud computing service providers. So we understood that cloud computing is nothing but we are just renting the infrastructure instead of heavily investing on the hardware and the infrastructure, putting it on our own data center. Someone is managing that for us, and we are just paying for the resources for what resources we want to use, and for that particular time period only. So doing this, there are advantages definitely for us, and that's one of the most important thing is the capital expenses. So you are saving a lot of capital expenses. The cost wise, it will eliminate so much of cost where you are actually uh, purchasing the physical hardware, and you have to maintain that hardware. You have to again have your powering cooling agents for all those servers. So definitely it will be compared to the cost that you have to pay in a cloud computing for a service provider, it will be very high if you are doing it in your on premises. So you will eliminate capital expense, and you can instantly provision space for deployment and testing. We have discussed about the instance provisioning. You can globally scale your services across different regions, because these service providers, they are having their data centers across different countries. So you can make use of that. So overall productivity is increased collaborations, You are getting predictable performance and as well as customer isolations. Even though you are going to a public cloud, you have your own isolation with other tenants, other customers. You will not have any issues. And in terms of the data privacy, it's all isolated. And you're getting better price per performance when you are going with the cloud native workloads. The same cost, you are getting what you are comparing with your on-premises, you're always getting better price and better performance in cloud. And on top of that, all these services, the service providers, what they are providing the service for us, these services are fully fault tolerant. There is no issue like this. These services are 24/7 available because they ensure the high availability of these services. And we hardly see any outage in these cloud services. You have scalable distributed systems across all the services. So the reliability is there, productivity, performance, scalability, and the more important, cost saving. Why we want to be still enhancing our data centers on premises, buying the new hardware, and you have to discard your expired old servers. So that is again a big headache for us. So instead of putting our energy in all these things on premises, customers are slowly started migrating their resources workloads to the cloud. So we see the trend like wherever they have their data centers having expired hardware, so they are doing the DC exits and they are migrating their workloads to one of these cloud providers. If you are more towards the Amazon or Azure, like whatever the workloads you are running, so where you will be uh, based on what workloads you have on premises, accordingly you can jump to one of this cloud computing. In our training sessions, we are only focusing on OCI. And it's almost similar with other providers also, like the naming conventions or what we call here as a VCN, maybe someone will call it as a VPN or something else. But the concept is almost same. Understand the concept of one cloud provider. It will be pretty similar with other providers as well. The only thing is the look and feel will change. The naming, how they call the services will be a bit different, and the cost and whatever the hardware they are providing, that is anyhow that will be having a difference between these providers, because that is the competition, right? If Oracle is providing something very cheap, the other provider will also try to do that, or to get the more market than other providers. Oracle may be giving the same service with a cheaper version or a less cost. So that's how they win more customers and get more into the cloud business, like move more customers into the cloud. What is OCI? OCI is a next-gen cloud infrastructure which is designed with high performance and reliability, and they are available in more than 41 cloud regions now. So there's almost like more than 50 now. They are also rapidly building more new regions so that they are available for all the customers in different regions. So the customers can make use of these data centers, these cloud regions, so that they can migrate their workloads to that particular region. So OCI next-gen architecture enables fast and on-demand provisioning of more than 80 cloud services. These are the cloud services which we are talking about, like storage, database, VMs, and the other analytics services, whatever the services which you typically need to run your workloads, the basic requirements like network, load balancers, WAF, security services, all these services come more than up to 80 services. Now they have also introduced the AI services, generative AI services. So these generative AI services may not be available in all the regions as of now, but they are expanding these services, the RAG services, or some of the additional new AI services. And along with that, they are also giving some migration tools for customers like enterprise application customers who wants to migrate their applications like EBS, PeopleSoft, or Siebel. So they have provided something called Cloud Managers. So using this Cloud Manager tools, you will be able to migrate your application seamlessly from on-premises to OCI. And then you have also they are providing the support for hybrid architecture. Like you can have some of your services running on your on-premises, like your primary is running on on-prem, and you can have your standby on. That is one way of doing it. Or maybe you want to have multiple cloud vendors. You have your application running in Azure. You can have your database planned on the Oracle data center. So that's hybrid architecture is also supported. Now this slide shows you the global footprint of all the regions available in OCI as of March 2023. This is an old slide, but yeah, as I said, you have more than 50 regions now, almost. So each region is located in one particular city geographically. It's like the physical data center, which is called as a region, where you will have all the infrastructure. It's the physical hardware will be there. Like you have in India, you have two regions. One is in Mumbai and one is in Hyderabad. So this is where exactly you have all the servers located. The physical hardware is there along with the required networking cables in these two data centers. This is actually called as a data center. We call them as a data centers, usually in olden days. Now they are calling it as, in OCA, they are calling it as a region. So each region is separately when it's created. Every workloads or the customers, they are targeting these customers like in Middle East, if you have a customer. So for them to migrate to cloud, if there is a region in their own country, it will be easy for them to migrate. Because it's closest to them. So that's one of the reasons. And then the data compliance issues will also come into play a big role, right? You have some personal information data. You cannot store that data into a different country data center or a region. So that is also a very important key point for us. So that is where Oracle is ensuring that they are getting expansion of their regions into all the different countries. So recently, I think they are also having a new region in Kenya so that they get more business in that particular region. So any questions so far? If you have, we'll take a pause here, 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so what we understood so far is what is cloud computing is all about. We said it is just renting the infrastructure like the Ola or Uber. You are just renting your ride. You are just hiring the cab. You are not owning the cab. So the maintenance is obviously, it will be less for you when you don't own anything. You can be flexible. You can pay as you go. Your rides, you can have flexibility there. You can easily save the cost. Similarly, in OCI, instead of heavily investing on your in your hardware, you are renting the resources. So we understood the advantages, and then we saw the global footprint of the Oracle regions, which are the data centers, physical data centers. So as a customer, if you are convinced like, okay, I'm saving some cost, I'm getting the new gen infrastructure with better performance, the new shapes, the new processors, the Intel processors, maybe the AMD processors. These are all the new next gen processors. So why should I have to invest heavily on my on-premises data center? Instead of that, I can put it on the cloud infrastructure only. So as a customer, if you are convinced, and so how you will be doing, how you will be choosing the region once you have convinced that, okay, I will move to cloud. So the first thing is you need to see for a location. So if you have the closest region for your workloads to be migrated, like I said, mostly it depends on the closest region so that you will get the lowest latency with highest performance in terms of the connectivity. Now, if you are connecting to something, staying in India and connecting to some servers which are running in US, obviously there will be some kind of uh, bandwidth issues and latency issues. There may be some kind of delay in the response. So you don't want to go that far away because in the network you will have so many hops. So you don't want to do that. You will first ensure if there is any location nearest to you for the migration. And the next thing is the important thing, which is the data residency and the compliance. So if you are hosting some data of your customers and those data has some personal information, PII data, and as per your country data residency policies, if they are having any strict data residency requirements, obviously you'll not be able to move your data to some different country. So if you don't have a region in your own country, then you have to think twice whether you will be able to migrate to cloud or not. So you still have to wait for a region to be created in your country, and then only you will be able to migrate. Otherwise, you still have to stay on premises if there is no uh, region in your country, and you have some data which is not and which is restricted to take into a different country. And obviously the service availability, even though you have the region and that particular service is not available, like you are looking for some Gen AI services, something on the AI service, AI new services, and that is still not available in that particular region, there is no point in migrating, right? So these are some of the key factors which you need to understand and validate them before you do a migration. So even if you have convinced that fine, I'm saving lots of amount and cloud computing is much giving me more flexibility in terms of the resource creation, termination, or usage. But the location wise, if there is no closest one for you, or you have some compliance issues, then you still not be able to migrate. So this regions are will play a key role. So that is where OCI is first expanding these regions so that wherever they see more customers, potential business. So in that location, they are starting new regions. So if you see in Europe region, there are more regions here, and US also you have more regions, and Middle East Asia also. Wherever they see more customers, they are quickly increasing the regions in those areas. So if we look into the OCI architecture, how it looks like, you have a region in a specific location. So it's a localized geographic area, which is having one or more availability domains. So they call in each region, they call one data center as an availability domain. So that's the new norm, the new name, which we will be hearing going forward always. It's like instead of calling it as a data center, we call it as a AD, which is availability domain. So each region is a specific area in that particular country. Like in Mumbai, you have one AD that may be in Navi Mumbai, wherever it is physically located. And there you have all the physical hardware and the required network connectivity and the required cooling agents or whatever you need for all the resources to be available for the customers. And in some of the regions, they have more than one availability domain. So one or more fault tolerant isolated data centers located within the same region, and they are connected to each other by a low latency and high bandwidth network. Like this is again like, let's take an example of Mumbai itself. Like you have one AD, let's say in Navi Mumbai or something like that, and other AD will be in somewhere in there your old city. So these two ADs are not co-located in the same location next to each other. So they are like 20, 30 kilometers away from each other. So some of the regions, they have multiple ADs. They have 3 ADs max. And like in Europe, you have in Frankfurt, you have 3 ADs. London, you have 3 ADs. And you have in US, you have Ashburn, Phoenix. So these regions, they started initially with 3 ADs. So in the same city, these ADs are located like 30, 40 kilometers away from each other. So anything goes wrong in one AD will highly impact the other AD. So the services, what Oracle is providing, they make fault tolerant by having multiple high available architecture in these ADs, which are connected with each other with low latency and high bandwidth network. But having multiple ADs in all the regions is not that easy for them. So it is time taking for them to have the physical locations to be taken and to set up all these data centers in each region. So what they are focusing currently is to expand the regions with one AD at least, so that they are covering more countries or more regions in geographical locations than focusing on multiple ADs. So what they have done is they have started with one AD. Like in Mumbai, you have one AD. Hyderabad, it's one AD. Dubai, you have one AD. Abu Dhabi, one AD. Same thing for Jeddah, Riyadh. Whatever the new regions you see, they are only having one AD. So once they are capturing all the market for all the customers in their regions, maybe they will then go on expanding these ADs to multiple ADs. So, but for the now, the focus is to have an AD. And within the AD, each AD, they have a thing called fault domains. So this is like grouping of hardware and infrastructure within that AD. So anything goes wrong with one group of hardware will highly impact the other two groups. So they ensure the anti-affinity, they provide high availability within one AD. They group the hardware in such a way that if one group fails, it will highly impact the other groups. So the physical racks or the network, what they use for one group, they will ensure they are using different things, different set of network for the other group of hardware. So they call it as fault domains. So every AD will have 3 FDs. So whether it is 3 ADs in the one region or one AD in one region, so they will again have 3 fault domains. Like if you imagine like one AD is one physical uh, building where you have 3 different floors. So each floor has its own infrastructure. So each floor is one FD and it is connected with different network, different power, different hardware, completely isolated each floor. So one floor fails for any physical failure on uh, top of switch rack or something on the physical rack servers, it will highly impact the other 2 floors. So these are like fault domains, what they call. This is how the architecture of OCI looks like. You have regions. Within the region, you have availability domains. And within the availability domains, you have fault domains. So availability domains are isolated from each other. Like if you have multiple ADs in one region, so they are isolated. They are not together in one single place. And they are for fault tolerant and very unlikely to fail simultaneously, because if one AD is failing, so this is completely away, far away from the other AD, like 20, 30 kilometers away, but in the same city, in different corners, maybe you can think something like that. So they don't share any physical infrastructure with other AD, such as power or cooling or internal availability domain network. So a failure that impacts one AD will unlikely impact the other two ADs. So until unless there is a very big disaster happens, the complete city is gone for a toss, all the ADs will go away in that case. Like you have to think a massive disaster. So in that case, you have a standby you can create in a different region. So that's the disaster recovery side. So for customers like uh, they have some primary on Hyderabad, they can go with a standby on running in Mumbai. So the data residency is still fine. The data is within the country, and they have one region in Mumbai or Hyderabad, and their standby is on other city. So this disaster, I mean, this is a kind of disaster plan. So that's where OCI is also ensuring that at least you have two regions in one particular country, so that if there are any kind of such kind of residencies, data residency policies, requirements, compliance issues will come. In those scenarios, customers can have their uh, disaster also planned within their country. And then you have the fault domains. So each AD has 3 fault domains internally. So in one AD, you have 3 fault domains. So fault domains are acting as logical data centers. So they are like not the physical data centers, they are acting like a logical within the AD. So usage of multiple FDs are reducing the failures within the AD. And the resources placed in different FDs will not share any single point of hardware failure, because they're not using the same physical server, physical rack, or top of rack switch, or any PDUs. So all what they are using are different from each and other FDs. So any failure which happens in one FD will likely impact the other two FDs. So high availability, if you want to have in one AD, so you can plan one compute placed on one application node placed on one FD, and the second node application node will be running on FD2. And similarly, database also, the rack instances, one node will be running on FD1 and the other node will be running on FD2. So in case, if at all on the infrastructure layer in your AD, something goes wrong in FD level, you would still have resources running on other FD. So that's the idea what they have done, created this kind of architecture so that customers will not have any issues uh, having their high availability architecture design. So how you can avoid a single point of failure when you're designing your architecture during the implementation phase. So this is how you have to design. You have to place your computes in different FDs, like you have high available architecture, like 2-node application and 2-node databases. So you'll be putting them in different FDs. And if you want the business continuity, you can also place a DR standby in a different AD. If something goes wrong in completely with one FD, your high availability resources will be running in FD2. But if something goes wrong completely in AD1 itself, your resources, you can switch over to AD2 and you can run your business in the secondary. Yeah, if it is only one AD, then obviously you have to go with having it in different FDs. But your standby, you can plan it in a different region, in a different country. So that's again based on your data residency policy. Like we see now in Middle East, like the customers, They have their primary, they used to have their primary in Dubai, and their standby is in Abu Dhabi. Now, because of the recent uh, global issues or the war we see, the customers are now having their standbys. They are moving their standbys from Abu Dhabi to European regions, like something like Frankfurt or London. So they are taking the exceptions for their data residency policies and placing their standbys in different regions. Because if something goes wrong, uh, they're like targeting the data centers, right? If something goes wrong to the primary and standby, they will at least have a safe copy in different region. Any questions before we move on to discuss with the service models in OCI?
Hemant, little bit confused. Like that, most of the things are region and AD both are same or any different?
Sorry, AD and?
Yeah, region and ADs availability domain.
Yeah.
Both are same.
Sir, Sam, in each region, you will have multiple ADs. So region is the actual location, like Mumbai or Dubai or Abu Dhabi. In that region, you have the data center, which is called as AD. So AD is like your physical building block, where you have all the physical hardware. So region is just the name of the city.
Region is logical, like that. If AD is physical, that only. Right?
Region is mostly which country, I mean, in which city you are in. Like this data center is in Dubai. The region name can be London, Frankfurt, like that, like Riyadh, Jeddah. So these are the region names. These are the names just where this actual AD is located. And then the AD is the actual data center, like the physical building block where you have the all the hardware, the resources, the main resources. So we call them as AD, availability domain.
Okay.
Yeah, if as you explained about the architecture, so if anyone asks, so we have to explain only this ADFD and
Yeah.
reason. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So
a
what?
collection of FDs equal to ADs, right?
Yeah, in each AD there are three three different fault domains. There's like the grouping of hardware. So what will be the use case here? Like mostly the customers wants to migrate their workloads, right? So we are talking about infrastructure as a service for the customers. So this is what we are looking into. The customers, instead of having their resources in on premises, like they have their own database server, maybe there is some Solaris box or some Linux box, physical hardware which they have. Now they are owning these resources. They are taking renting these resources in this particular region, in this availability domain. So they are just renting them. The operating system, the maintenance of this servers is again taken care by the customer only. So when you are going with the infrastructure as a service model. So customer will only rent this VMs or the bare metal servers or maybe the extra data servers. And once they subscribe to these servers, on top of these servers, they have to put their operating system, which OS they want to go with, whether they want to go with Linux or Windows operating system, that is up to them. So they will provision the required operating system. Then they will create the required storage mount points like C drive, D drive, include the additional mount points, or if it is a Linux box, U01, U02, and install their database or install their applications on these virtual machines or bare metal servers. So that is what the customer will be interested into when they are migrating it to Oracle. So they are taking this infrastructure as a service. So they are renting the infrastructure, and on top of the infrastructure, they will maintain their own operating system they are responsible for creating their images as they want and apply the required security patches. Everything is again their own responsibility. Like if you have to download the software and install the, let's say, EBS application, so you have to download all the software and run the installations, right? Same how you are doing in on premises. Now you are, instead of on premises servers, you are renting these servers. So before renting them, you will create the required network VCNs, subnets, which you have to create to provision these resources. So this is all infrastructure as a service. So we will be understanding about all these resources under infrastructure as a service in our uh, in our training sessions. So in private cloud completely it's customer's responsibility. In infrastructure as a service provider, he will be providing the servers, storage servers, the networking, the base of this infrastructure. So on top of that, once you provision the required VMs, you will provision the operating system as per your requirement. Maybe if OEL 8 is supported for your database or application, you'll go with that version. Or maybe your application supports only CentOS or Ubuntu. Whatever the operating system you want, you can go and install them. And next model is platform as a service, where you are also getting the operating system, which is taken care by the service provider itself. And only the data and application is what you are managing here. So like Exadata or base database services, autonomous database services, like these are all the managed uh, services, managed DB services. They come under platform as a service. So here, operating system is not your choice. They come by default with some operating system, and you have to uh, provide. I mean, you will be dealing with your data. So data loads, whatever the data you want to load, you'll be loading into that. And the services like DB services, they come with the database, pre-installed database, and you can use them as you want. So these are like platform as a service under the PaaS model. So this is IaaS model, and then you have PaaS model. And they also have SaaS, which is software as a service, like you have Fusion applications. Completely, this is taken care by the service provider, and customers has no access to the backend services here. So they will be using the application directly, like Fusion ERP, Fusion HCM, CRM. So these are some of the examples for the software as a service. So we will be focusing mostly on IaaS and PaaS in our upcoming sessions. So in IaaS, we have categorized the services into 7 major categories. In overall cloud services, OCI core services are divided into 7 major categories. So you have core infrastructure as a service. That's the base of your all the services. And then you have database services, AI, application analytics, governance, and developer services supporting your infrastructure. So what is exactly in the infrastructure? You have computes, you have containers, you have storage, networking. So all these services fall under the core infrastructure layer. So where you can perform your uh, calculations of your applications, you are be running your applications on the compute where you are executing your logic. So you have Kubernetes, OKE clusters, worker nodes, and physical VMs. I mean, it can be bare metal servers or it can be virtual machines. So these are like your core infrastructure along with the storage and network. So storage, you have different services again, like you have virtual machine storage like block volumes, boot volumes, object storage, file storage. So different types of storage options are available for the customers. According to their use case, the requirement, they will be going with one of the storages. And networking, obviously, you need VCNs, subnets, load balancers. You need internet gateways to connect your resources to internet with internet. And you have different gateways in the network. So these will build your foundation on your OCI. Once you have decided to move to your workloads to OCI, so you'll be subscribing to one of the region which is closest to you, and then you will start doing the foundation. Like you will be creating the required network resources, and then you will be starting provisioning the VMs. So once the VM provisioning and network resources provisioning is completed, then your DBA or apps DBA role comes into the picture, like provisioning the resources, like installation of the DB, installation of the applications, maybe WebLogic applications, OBIE, or whatever it is. And then on top of the core infrastructure, you have the database services. These are like your autonomous database, or it can be the base database service, access services. And along with the DB services, what they are offering to the customers, they also have the third-party databases like MySQL database, NoSQL database. These are the distributed and other database services. And you have data and AI, like big data, AI services. Newly, they are like rapidly growing AI services in all the areas. Like you have major Gen AI services, RAG services in this AI part. And some of this supporting services as part of your governance and administration for your infrastructure, like cloud operation tools, like who is logging into the console to do these kind of provisioning in your data center, which are like the identity and access management, like who can log in. The governance part is taken care by that. And you have compartments, you have cloud advisors, and security related tools. We have many security related tools like Cloud Guard, you have security zones, key vaults, data safes, and monitoring wise, you have monitoring tools. These are all supporting your infrastructure, which you are provisioning as core infrastructure or database services. And you can also make use of developer services, like doing some kind of enhancements, customizations of the resources, using the coding like Terraforms, Ansibles, or any FX codes. You can make use of them using the developer source services. And analytics services, business intelligence, business analytics, you have cloud services there. And then you have fusion applications like SaaS model, which we have discussed, where you have OIC as application integration service. You have the SaaS, ERP, HCM, SCMs, and some serverless functions and API gateways. So overall, these are like more than 80 cloud services available for the customers. So according to their requirement, according to their use case workloads, what they are going to migrate to OCI, according to their choice, they will be using these resources services. So along with that, they can also have distributed cloud service model, like some resources can be running on premises and few resources running on OCI. So that is known as a distributed cloud services. Some examples like hybrid cloud you have, which is like having your Exadata clouded customer. So instead of running everything on public cloud, if you want to have some resources in your private cloud, so you can have Exa CC, which is having your Exadata at your in your on-premises. And similarly, you have something like roving edge infrastructure. This is portable. Remotely, you can run this infrastructure anywhere you want. And you have dedicated cloud, which is known as dedicated region clouded customers. So this is something called as DRCC. So what cloud this Oracle will do is they build a cloud region just for you. This is dedicated region for you. where all these publicly available resources, services will also be available for you at your own data center. So this is something exclusively for you, which they can also create. If you are not interested to come to the public cloud, because in public cloud, you may think like all the other tenants will also have their resources migrated to the same public cloud. Even though the resources are isolated, you will not be able to have any access to other tenants. But still, if your data residency policies or if you have some uh, very critical banking data or government data, and you don't want to move their data to public cloud. So there are again some data residency policies. In those scenarios, you can think of going with a DRCC. So their dedicated region will be created for yourself, your own data center. And then you also have multi-cloud support now. Oracle is playing very smartly here in this area. They have deals with other cloud providers like Azure, Google, and Amazon. So what they are doing is they are providing their data as a service, Oracle database in at Azure, Oracle database at GCP, at Amazon as well. So they are expanding this uh, within the other cloud providers so that uh, the Azure, if you say like the Microsoft applications wants to connect to Oracle database, so that service is also available in Azure itself. So something like that they have, and that's where the new multi-cloud, new norm is all about, right? Having uh, services distributed across different cloud providers. So if something goes wrong with one provider, at least you'll have some copy of application or database running in a different cloud provider. So we also see like primaries running in one cloud provider and service provider, and then your standby is running with a different service provider. So that use cases also we have some customers having these kind of setup. So hybrid cloud services like the DRCC, you have clouded customer and completely isolated, remote disconnected roving edge infrastructure. So coming to the DRCC, this is how it looks like. You have your own customer data center and you are providing the access to the Oracle operation person for setting up the hardware. So he will be setting up the Oracle managed cloud racks and Oracle physical access cage. So this is something which they will set up in your own data centers. So this is like a dedicated region with customers. So this is an air gap solution. So this is an air gap offering, meaning this region can be fully disconnected from outside network. And customers can start small and they can scale up all the way up to 450 plus racks very quickly. So according to your requirement, you can start this DRCC as well. So starting from 2019, they have collaborated with Microsoft Azure. So OCI has some interconnect between OCI and Microsoft. And what they say is they have something called Azure interconnect region. So wherever you see an OCI region and in the same city, you have a Microsoft icon here. So like San Jose, they have Microsoft Azure interconnect. So these two data centers are having this interconnection availability. So if you are running some application in Azure and you can have your database in OCI. So they have less than 2 millisecond latency, this private interconnection, and whatever the inbound outbound data between these two data centers, that is absolutely free. There's no egress or ingress charges. So all we have to do is we have to set up this interconnect between these two regions. So on OCI, we use Fast Connect, and on Azure, we use Express Route. So once this line is established between these two data centers, the latency of the data will be less than 2 milliseconds. So they have 12 such kind of interconnect regions like in Toronto, Phoenix, Ashburn. You see wherever the Windows icon is there. So in those regions, they have this option. So for the customers, if they are running multi-cloud, they can make use of this interconnect option. And similar options they are expanding now with AWS and GCP also, where they are providing the database as a service at their data center itself instead of this interconnect. So that is something which they are expanding as well. Like in this scenario, you can have the Azure experience. If you are already familiar with Azure, Microsoft Azure, you can provision the database from your Azure interface, from your Azure console. Using this interconnect, you can provision the resources in OCI. So this is an advantage if you are having a multi-cloud footprint. So that's all about the distributed cloud services and other services what we have in OCI. And we understood why cloud is more booming now, why customers are more inclined towards migrating their resources to cloud. That is mostly it's very difficult for them to maintain these resources on premises, and there's lots of maintenance which is required. Cost is heavy, and you have to keep upgrading your physical devices, right? So you need more RAM, more power. So you need to keep upgrading your servers, which is very difficult for you. And on top of that, the resources are also, if you are looking to cut down, so that will be beneficial. So that's why we see customers are more towards cloud, and we see more and more customers migrating their workloads. Whenever there is a DC exit, you see, which has to be outdated data center, those customers obviously are not thinking of bringing the new infrastructure. They are instead of thinking to migrate their resources to one of these cloud providers, either it may be OCI, Azure, or any other cloud provider. In the next session tomorrow, we will understand about the course content, what all we are going to cover in this next 6-7 weeks of the duration of this course, and see a quick demo on how we create a free account in OCI as well. So we'll understand the sign up process. So how we can create a free account in OCI is what we will also look into in the next session. Okay, any questions?
Yeah. Hi. Uh, sorry. One of my friend is doing OCI this class only from other organization. So he told me they are taking most of a part from infra side, not from database side. So here, which part we will take more as our main topic?
We will have infra. Along with the infra, we will also discuss about database. We will discuss about database provisioning, how you create the DBs, how you migrate the DBs from on-premise to OCI, and also how you migrate your applications from on-premise to OCI. So we will cover that part as well.
Okay.
Yeah, both the things will be covered.
Hi,
And
Hemant.
yeah, go on.
After that course, you will provide any on-call support. Means after the course completing, we are facing any real-time
Mostly
issue.
on-call support will not be there, but if you have some issues, you can send those screenshots, send an email to us. We will respond to them. We can help you, guide you. If you are facing some issues, how you can just mail, send an email, so we can help you. But on-call support
So
will not.
Okay, call support is not possible.
Call support.
Okay,
But we'll definitely support
course.
you wherever you want. If you are stuck with some solution, or if you are stuck with some issues, you can always send an email and we will be able to respond to you.
Okay, but after the complete the course, we can means how we can face that interview like that. If you are already my completed the course, already I have
We
9 years.
will have one session at the end. We will also discuss about some of the basics and the resume, how you can prepare. We will discuss about the CV preparation. We will discuss about some of the interview questions, how you can go with your certifications. We will, at the end of the course, we will have one session on that, on your preparation.
So,
So I can also help you with some of the sample CVs if you have already some background on DBA. So how you can add your OCI experience on top of that. Something like that we can discuss at the end.
my question is, if I completed my course,
Mhm.
already I have 9 years of experience. Okay.
Yeah.
If I go to the market, can I put the 4 years of experience? As a 4 years, this much of whatever you are giving the training, can I face that interview? The 4 years of as the stuff.
4 years of like what, OCI infra admin, you mean? Or
Yes.
you are already in OCI managing the some of the resources for a customer from last 4 years. You are maintaining the database for them or maintaining
No,
the.
complete time. No, sir. I'm completing new. Okay. I have only 9 years plus experience. Okay. After completion of this, of course, I remove the like relevant experience means remove that of 4 years, like the 5 years Oracle DBA, 4 years, this OCI. Okay. If I put the resume, then I face the interview. Can I face it or not? After that, for 4 years of experience, that's what the stuff we can get is this training.
Okay, so you're asking like if I complete this training, will I be equivalent to a 4 years experience guy
Yes,
with this training? Now that
yes,
depends on how well you will be understanding the concepts, right? And you always need a hands-on experience. So you need at least a 6 months of hands-on experience. So to double or triple that, if you have to fake something like I have 4 years of experience, then the questions will be coming in such a way which you should be able to respond with the training. But there may be some typical scenarios like how much time you may have taken to do a migration with a database size of 10 terabytes. So how much time it has taken for you to do the restore. So these scenarios may need uh, some smart answers, right? So there you will be able to struggle. Otherwise, the normal infrastructure, whatever you are provisioning or doing hands-on during this training, you should be able to manage it easily in the interviews.
okay.
What we are
Yeah,
doing
that
is
real time,
we
that
are
real time.
also, yeah, we are also asking you to create your own accounts. That's what we are doing in the next session tomorrow. So you will create your own OCI account, free trial account, and whatever I am going to do and demonstrate the live demos in the sessions, you also have to work on your tenancies, get your hands dirty, get familiarized with all the options what you have in OCI. We will also provide you the labs PDFs which have the exercises which you have to do them for the next 30 or 45 days. And uh, once you do that in the lab in your tenancy, you will be getting the confidence automatically. So you will be more confident, and you will understand that you will be able to easily clear any of these interviews. So once you have that hands-on thing, so if you are doing the labs properly during the daily everyday course, and you come up with some new questions once you do these labs uh, without any failure, whatever we are discussing in the sessions every day, then obviously you'll be able to clear any of these interviews. So what we
This
will be
session
going to
every
do
time this
is,
time, right?
sorry,
This session every time this time only. I need to change any like that time every
we
day.
have one
8
session at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8, and then 8:15
morning
to
only.
morning.
Why? Because I'm completing a night shift. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, only morning sessions.
Only.
So we will be providing you the complete recordings. Every day recordings will be there. We'll be sharing all the PDFs. You'll be also getting the lab PDFs along with that. So these are the documents, whatever the recordings are there, they will be available for you throughout your lifetime. Like these recordings, you can refer anytime later as well. So don't worry about that.
It's the same timings,
Yeah.
training.
Yeah,
That is
8:15 to 9:15. It's a 1 hour session.
9:15.
Yeah, mostly by 9:15 we will.
How many days duration?
It will be around 6 to 7 weeks, 7 weeks max.
Okay.
And we only have the sessions from Monday to Friday. No sessions on weekends like Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay. One more time you explain about availability domain and the fault domain. So first we have a region, right?
Yes.
It is a geography location, just a data center place.
Place, correct.
It is having again 3 data center availability domains.
Yes.
So one or more availability domains. So what are the services we are keeping in availability domain? It will maintain a copy in fault domain, or how?
Now, if you have,
What
let's
is
say,
concept?
one compute instance,
Yeah.
that's a VM, virtual machine. So this virtual
Okay.
machine, it will have only one VM in one fault domain. But if you want to have a high availability architecture, so you need to install one more VM in a different fault domain. So that is adding up to
Okay.
your cost.
So it's not maintaining any copies.
It's not maintaining any copies for you, but underlying
Okay.
resources, like this instance, compute instance resources, what they have to provide, they are maintaining those resources, the infra resources, which will give you a VM. So at any given point of time, if something fails in FD1, it will have one more resource. And few other resources like storage.
So we have three fault domains. If
Yeah.
one is fails, it will fail over. How it will work?
Failover is something like when you create two nodes, right? Compute nodes, one node in one.
Okay, if you create based on our design only, it will
Correct.
work.
Based on your design only.
By default, it will not maintain copies.
By
like
default,
okay.
yeah. By default, what will happen is some services in OCI, like load balancer as a service. So this is a native service. So this they will design for you. So this is they are giving as a service directly the load balancer. And if one FD fails, the load balancer as a service will automatically available for you in the next FD. So some native services like object storage or the load balancers. So these are maintained by the OCI, which are completely maintained by OCI, like comes under the PaaS services. So they ensure the high availability by keeping separate copies in different FDs. But if something around in the IaaS, infrastructure as a service, that is something which you have to design the high availability.
Okay.
So you will see both the scenarios.
Yeah.
So few services.
You mentioned like our OCI comes under IaaS, right?
IaaS, yeah, infrastructure as a service.
But again, in database services,
it comes under
you
PaaS.
mentioned
Yeah.
all services. Only Exadata, ExaCC, and ExaCS belongs to
ExaCS base. Yeah, PaaS. See, if you are database, you are
base service, Oracle
base database is also comes under PaaS. So if something is managed by Oracle,
I think.
Yeah, if something is managed by Oracle, that will come under PaaS. If something is managed by yourself, it comes under IaaS. So what is managed by yourself and managed by Oracle is like, if you take a compute and you do the installation of the database, normal rapid ways or next install, you do your binaries and the database on a compute VM. This is something which you are doing. It's not managed by Oracle. So this comes under the IaaS part. But base database service, that same database they are giving as a managed DB service as base database. So here you will not do the rapid install or installation normally. So the software is already pre-installed for you as an image, and some of the provisioning and like backups, patching, these are all automated for you. Yeah, you don't need to go and do an OPatch apply, manually apply a patch in your database. So from the console, you can directly run the PSU update and it will run the OPatch apply for you behind the scenes. So these are like managed database services, comes under PaaS.
Yeah, okay.
For this
Okay.
FD and for this FD and FD, that bad data balancing, right? The under concept is RAID concept, right? Fault tolerance, everything.
Yeah, some architecture wise, you are saying like RAID architecture,
Yes.
fault
Yes.
tolerance. Yeah. So that's behind the scenes, they'll have these kind of architectures.
If we want to implement standby databases, so we can place the databases across regions.
Correct.
If you want to implement rack type of installations, within the FDs we can implement
Correct. Exactly. Across the FDs within the AD.
across the FDs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
So
that,
that's the
we need
concept.
to design.
You have to design it. Yeah. When you are provisioning, you will be choosing the FDs. So my rack node 1 will be on FD1, node 2 will be on FD2 or FD3. So that is how you have to do the provision.
Okay. Okay. It's clear.
Means each FD different VMware, right?
Each FD is, it's like a grouping of hardware. So if one set of, as I said, like it will not have any top of the power distribution units, or it's not sharing any physical rack. It's a group of hardware, like the physical hardware.
So,
Okay, so if there are no other questions, we'll catch up tomorrow at 8:15 and we'll continue with the course content, and we'll also see a demo on how you create the free account. Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Have a
Sure.
nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.